Welcome, everybody, to the 11 o'clock Friday class. Thank you for being here today. It's a fabulous sunny day in the Villages, and we're going to do a song called Summertime. And even though it's October, I think it still feels like summertime here, here in Florida. Yeah, so it's a wonderful song. I thank everybody for joining us this past week for our recreational music making celebration. It was a lot of fun, and hopefully you got a little bit of education out of it as well. And don't forget to do your product surveys. Do your surveys. And if you need to know how to do those, you can email me and let me know, and I'll make sure that you get an appointment or just get one to fill out, because there's fabulous prizes to be had by all. So that's not going to, the prize drawing will not take place until after the month is over. How come Linda's not staying in here?
You have to come into the store to get the forms and stuff, or what?
You have to do a demonstration on your next instrument.
Well, how do I do that? You don't
Well,
have a marquee.
well, I can go through a marquee demonstration online with you. Would you like a marquee?
Yeah, well, I would think about it.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll make sure you get a link to a marquee demonstration, and then we'll fill out your form. How does that sound?
All right.
Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, just
But if I
email
need to,
me if you question it, and
if I
we'll.
need to come in, just let me know.
Okay, we can probably just do that online or over the phone too. Okay?
All right.
Very, very good. All right, what do we know about summertime? Except that it's usually very hot in Florida and the cicadas are still buzzing, and it's a lot of fun. This is an um, this is an aria. Now it's not an aria organ, but it is an aria composed in 1934 by George Gershwin. What is an aria? It's a song from an opera. An aria is what they call songs from operas. So the opera was actually Porgy and Bess. So this was composed by the Gershwins for that. It soon became a popular jazz standard. Um, Gershwin began composing in December of 1933, and he was attempting to create his own spiritual in the style of African American folk songs of the period. He completed setting Dubois Hayward's poem to music by February 1934. So, okay, Dottie's trying to get into. So he took a poem, and it took him a couple of months. It took him from December to February to actually finish composing music for it. And he spent the next 20 months, okay, completing and orchestrating the entire score of the opera. So this was not something that was written on the back of a cocktail napkin out at the pool, like some of them were. So, no, this took him a lot of thought and a lot of time. And if any of you know anything about Porgy and Bess, there's some fabulous music in it. The movie version came out later in 1959, and it featured Lulie Jean Norman, who sang the song. That version finished number 52 in AFI's 100 Years, 100 Songs, of what this book actually is. Now, back in 1936, right after this came out, Billie Holiday had the very first recording to make it to the United States pop charts. Since then, it has been done by Sam Cooke, Billy Stewart, believe it or not, Janis Joplin, Ricky Nelson. Fantasia did it in 2005. So a whole bunch of people did this because, yeah, it is now considered a jazz standard. So what kind of rhythms work on this? Go to your song setup, and it really is determined by which organ you have. Song setup could be slow, easy blues between 72 and 74. In one of the instruments, it comes up as orchestral 4/4 with the alter style. It also works very well on Mr. Showman. It works on Joplin Stride. It works on Stride piano. On the Journey, gospel guitarist brings up your slow, easy blues. On your Fanfare, Broadway pianist brings up a background called Awesome piano. That works very well. On the Freedom 3, on some of your smaller instruments, gospel shuffle is fabulous with this. And on all your easies, your twos, fours, twos, threes, fours, tens, gospel pianist. Also your mixed guitarist, which is a shuffle. Those work very well. Now, what kind of instrumentation? You can never go wrong with an organ, or a real nice trombone is fabulous. As you got to remember when this came out, the entire orchestra. You can also do Strings 101, which makes a beautiful, beautiful song. What key are we in, by the way? The key of A minor. A minor. The only reason we need to know that is so that you know which introduction to start your song with. So you absolutely want to make sure that you have an A minor for your introduction. Now I'm going to give you a number of different chords, but I'm going to play it first and see what you think. Before I do, how was that sound? Was it too loud, too soft?
Fine.
Okay, perfect. I did have to boost it a little bit for this instrument. All right, we'll start that over. Okay, so sound was good? Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, we got a couple more people coming in. Okay, Helen, come on in. Helen, did you have to go to the website to get in? Yeah. Yep, I know. But just get used to it because that's the way we're going to be getting in all the time. And it's once you do it once or twice, it's not difficult. It's pretty easy actually. Okay. Any questions? That was Slow Easy Blues, and it came up with a trombone on top and the muted trumpet on the bottom. So your horns are always going to be nice. I did add some extra chords. I'm not going to make them as difficult as I did for the advanced class. If you want all of that extra stuff, I can scan you the sheet that I have it all written on, or you can go back and check out my class that I did it for. If it's still up, that's been weeks ago that I did summertime. And go ahead, Ken.
Did you play all of those A minor sixes?
No, I did not. I'm not
Oh.
going to include those.
Okay.
No, this is an intermediate advanced class, so I'm going to make it a little simpler in this class. If, like I said, if you want all the extra stuff, email me and I'll be happy to get that all to you. Let's do some extra chords. Okay, extra chords.
Sorry, I'm late, Dawn. Are we on the way we were?
No, we're on summertime.
Summertime. Okay, thank you.
Summertime, yep. And I'm going to keep it a little easy this time. No, I expect people to be coming late today because they did not have a link, so I'm okay with that.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, let's do extra chords. The A minor is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 of that measure, E or E7, elephant 7, which is D and E. We're just going to toggle back and forth between those 2 chords for the next couple of measures. So over the the blacked in quarter note in the 3rd measure, or the 2nd full measure, A minor for 2 counts. A minor is C and A. Beat 3 over the D for livin', E or E7. Next measure, first beat over the A half note for E's, A minor, C and A. And over the E, E or E7. Second line, first beat over the whited in half note, A minor, C and A. Over the E for the word fish, E or E7. And then beat 4 over the C for R, put in another A minor. So there you're going to have a couple of one chord per note. The D minor is good for 2 counts. 2 counts. Beat 3, which is halfway through the measure, right after you play the D for jump in. You're going to put a B flat, butterfly flat. Cross out the F and replace it with D minor. D minor is D and F. D and F for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the C for cotton, F major 7, which is E and F. F capital M-A-J 7. Your 2 notes are E and F. That's only good for 1 note. Actually 1 count. Over the C quarter note for is, put in a C diminished. C diminished is C and F sharp. It's always the letter plus 6 for your diminished chords. Okay, the E, don't play the E7, play just an E. Play just an E. And then if you wish, beat 3, you may play a B7, butterfly 7, which would be A and B. But I have it in parentheses, so if you don't want to play it, just do a fill-in right there. And then 3rd line, first beat, plain old E. Go back to the E. So you're still on it if you didn't put in the B7. If you put in the B7, you have to go back to the E. The no chord, do we remember how to do a no chord? It's any 3 consecutive notes in a row on your bottom keyboard, and I actually like it if you play your thumb on the crack of the F and the G at the same time and your pointer on the F, because that's, first of all, ladies, it's not ladylike to do a smash chord. Second of all, if your hand is right here, it's so nice and convenient to just do, whoops, let's get my easy back on. It's just so nice and convenient to keep your hand in position. Turn your thumb sideways, pick up the F and G, and the pointer goes on the F sharp. And then your hand just stays right in this position. Now that no chord, if you don't feel like playing it, guess what? Don't worry about it. Just play right through the E. It's going to be fine. The A minor over Daddy's Rich is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the whited in half note, E or E7. Guess what? You've seen this before. We did this on the top line. Third line, third measure. Over the quarter rest, put an A minor, C and A for 2 counts. Over the D for the word ma, E or E7. Next line, over the A for lookin', A minor, C and A for 2 counts. And over the E, E7. Now it's going to change up in this next measure. First beat, over that whited in dotted half note, A minor, C and A. And beat 3, D or D7. Dinosaur 7, which is C and D. Why? Because you're going into a new section. The C chord is good for 2 counts. Over the A for baby, beat 3, A minor, C and A. Let's go to the top of the second page. Cross out the D minor and replace it with plain old D, D major. That's good for 2 counts. And then over the C for U, D minor. Now put your D minor back in. So you're going to play a D major, just a plain old D, for 2 counts and turn it into a D minor for the last 2 counts. It sounds really nice. Okay. If you wish, you may do a no chord over one of these. The A minor is good, by the way, for at least a measure and a half. And then over the E's for one of these. If you wish, you can put in a no chord. Otherwise, just play it on the A minor and you're fine. And then we go back to what we did at the beginning. Over the E for mornin', last measure of the first line. A minor, C and A for 2 counts. Middle of the measure, after you play the E for in, E or E7. Are you finding the pattern here? Second line, over that 8th rest, A minor, C and A for 2 counts. Beat 3, over the D for rise, E or E7. Second measure, over the A for singin', A minor, C and A. Over the E for in, E7. Once you get this finger thing going, it actually is pretty easy to go back and forth between the chords. It seems like we're adding a lot, but I think it's going to add a lot to the sound, and it's just going to make your song flow a little bit nicer. Second line, last measure, first beat, A minor, C and A. Beat 3 over the E, E or E7. Beat 4 over the C, A minor. Third line, the D minor is good for 2 counts. D and F. Beat 3 over the whited in half note, B flat, butterfly flat. Cross out the F and replace it with D minor or D minor 7. D minor 7 is C, D, and F, and that's good for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the C for take, F major 7, E and F for 1 beat. 2 notes, but 1 beat. Beat 4 over the C for the C diminished, which is C and F sharp. Remember the rule for diminished. It's the letter plus 6. The letter plus 6. The E7 is good for the rest of the line. Remember that no chord? It's optional. You don't need it. You can just play right through it if you wish. Fourth line, the A minor is good for 2 counts. The middle of the measure, E or E7, D and E. You're probably getting sick of writing these. Next measure over the quarter rest, A minor, C and A. Over the D for nothing, which is the third beat of the measure, E or E7. Third measure over the A for harm, A minor, which is C and A. Third beat over the E for you, E or E7. Imagine that. Next measure over the whited in dotted half note, beat 1, A minor. And then halfway through the measure, beat 3, D dinosaur or D7, which is C and D, chickens and dinosaurs. And the last line, the C is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the A for mammy, A minor, C and A. Cross out the D minor and replace it with plain old D, D major, just plain old D, for 2 counts. And then over the C, beat 3. Now put in your D minor, and if you wish you can make it a D minor 7, because that's leading into the very last chord, which is that A minor chord. And that's it. So there's a lot of chords, but they're not hard. They're not difficult chords. But it will make the song flow a lot nicer. Now, remember, when you're practicing, if you want to just play the chords, make sure you put your rhythm on first. And I know a lot of times we forget to do this. We just want to plow into the song and just go with it. Sometimes it's nice to just play your rhythm. Just play your rhythm and sing the song in your head. Make sure you get that finger pattern. And it's not hard if you keep your hand in one position. And just play the song with just your chords. Make sure there's a lot of them. They're not hard, but there are a lot of them. So just play the song through with just your chords and your rhythm. This is the best way to make sure your fingers are going in the right places. And you can concentrate on where your fingers actually are so you don't have to guess, especially when you get to those F major 7s and C diminished, because they come very quickly after each other. And then you can also decide, can I or do I want to put in the optional chords? Any questions about what we did on chords?
Dawn,
Yes?
could you go over the first line of the song for me? I came late.
Oh, okay, Dottie, not a problem. The first line of the song, A minor, is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 is an E or E7.
D?
E.
Dinosaur?
Elephant.
Oh, elephant. Okay.
Elephant. A minor goes to elephant 7.
Okay.
The next measure, same thing. Beat 1 is A minor, C and A. Beat 3, which is over the D for living, is elephant 7. And the last measure is the same thing. A minor, beat 1, and elephant 7, beat 3.
And what's the first measure in the second line?
First measure in the second line is A minor, beat 1. Over the E for fish, E7, elephant 7. And over the C for R, beat 4, do another A minor. So you got to sneak that one in there.
And the rest of the pattern was all E7s or D7s?
Sometimes you have a D7, but most of the time it's A minor to E7.
Okay.
Okay? If you're unsure, I will shoot me an email and I'll make sure I get the...
Okay, just at the last line on the first page, you have A minor, E7, A minor, and that D7 or A7?
Yes.
That's a D7?
That one is a D7, yes.
Okay, I got you.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dawn,
Yes.
second page, 4th line, last measure, and the first of the last line.
Okay.
What are the chords on those two?
Line 4, last measure on the second page is A minor, C and A for 2 beats, and D7, dinosaur 7 for beat 3, which is C and D, chickens and dinosaurs. The last line is C, which is written in for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the A for Mammy is A minor, C and A. Cross out the D and make it a
wasn't there. I
plain
had to
old
go to
D.
the website and find it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Excuse me, Dawn.
Yeah.
Could you repeat the second line on the second page?
Yep. It's all A minors and E7s. Beat 1 is A minor. Beat 3 over the word rise is E7, elephant 7. Second measure, first beat is A minor, C and A. Third beat is E7, D and E, elephant 7. The last measure is A minor, C and A. Beat 3 over the E for the word then is E7, elephant 7. And beat 4 over the C for Yule is plain old A minor.
I missed that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I know there's a lot of chords here, a lot, but they're not hard, like I said, and they repeat over and over again. But it puts a nice little flow. If you just had an A minor and you just played everything on A minor, it would sound like this. Here's just the way it's written. Actually, it's not bad. It's not bad. But I think if you add those extra chords, you're going to really hear a difference. Makes it a little bit nicer, doesn't it? And it gives your left hand something to do, which is nice as well.
Dawn?
Yes?
In the fourth line on the second page, they are A minor and E7s all the way along?
Except for the very last measure. The last measure in line 4 is A minor, D7, dinosaur.
Okay,
7.
but the others are E's, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Thank you, ma'am.
You are welcome. Anybody else before I play it again?
I have one question. When you played the second line, at the end of the second line, and the cotton is high, you put in a couple of extra notes there. Was that
now if I scanned that to you, you have my advanced copy. Okay?
No, you didn't scan it to me. I heard you.
No, I didn't do it today.
Yes, you did. You put something the C to B.
Well, all I did today was I did a lot of finger rolls.
Okay.
I did a lot of finger rolls.
C and A and a B? Or B flat?
Oh, I know what I did. That's what I did. I did a little flip. I did a B up to a C back to a B. That's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I just did a little flip, just.
Okay.
B, C, B.
Okay.
But I'm glad you're hearing all those. That means your ears are working absolutely fine.
Well, I'm following the notes as you play, so I knew that you put something in there.
Something in, yeah.
Thank you.
I did an awful lot of finger rolls, too, because that's just, the song feels like it's rolling. I mean, summertime.
Finger rolls.
Wow.
I did. Thank you.
So if you ever hear me doing a finger roll, the fingering pretty much goes all out the window, and my fingers are just going to roll down most of the notes. Like I did that between, on line 1, last measure between the A and the E, easy. Right? I'm just rolling down as many notes as I can grab. I'm actually going to the A flat, G flat, I skipped the F and went right to the E because I don't have 6
You did
fingers
it,
in
huh?
that hand.
Finally, about 15 minutes late. Ooh.
Okay, and then I did that in a number of places. And if you're using a trombone, you got to think of 2 things. Use your glide, which actually I could have done that on Pedal Magic here, because Pedal Magic here gives me an opportunity to do a glide sustain, which is actually pretty cool. And then all I have to do is step on a long pedal. Oops, you can't see anything down here. There's no light. Step on a long pedal, and it does the same thing as if you were kicking your foot switch. So you're going to step on a long pedal. It detunes the entire top keyboard. Play your note, and now release your foot. So it's step, play, release. If you're doing it with your foot switch, it's going to be the left-hand foot switch, and again, it's kick, play, and release. Don't do a play, then kick, because that sounds very awkward. You want to kick it first, then play, then release the foot. This is a good song to actually work on that. If you are struggling with gliding, you may wish to go all the way back to Aloha or Your Cheatin' Heart. Those are easy enough songs, and they both have gliding guitars that you can work on your gliding, because this is not an easy thing to master. And you don't want to sound like a drunken sailor, and you don't want to do it on every note. If you do too many notes, it sounds like this. That sounds silly when you do every note. Pick and choose which ones you want to do. And it really doesn't matter which ones you do, but I usually do it at the beginning of a phrase or at the beginning of a long-held note. That's when I usually do my glides. If you want to write in a glide, you can put in a little arrow. Don't have my pencil. You can put in a little arrow that swoops up next to the note, just a little like a little J with an arrow on top. That always tells me do a little glide.
Dawn?
Yes.
Can I ask you what rhythm you played it on, or did you use song setup?
Use song setup. It usually comes up to slow, easy blues. Sometimes it comes up to orchestral 4/4 with the alter style. But there's a lot of different backgrounds that work on this.
Okay.
Your horns.
Thank you.
Your horns are very fabulous with this because it allows you to do all that sliding and gliding. Now, if you're on an organ sound, there's no gliding involved because then the glide doesn't work on an organ. It only works on certain sounds. It works on guitars. It works on your horns. You know, it's only instruments that will glide naturally. You don't want an organ to glide. That would sound really terrible.
Daun.
Yes, Ken. Go ahead.
Can you use MC plus, S plus?
Yeah, I would try that on this.
Yeah, I got that marked on my sheet that I used it.
Use your Jazz MCS Plus because that's going to add some of those 6s that are going to give it that extra boost. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It adds the 6s, huh?
Yes, it'll add the 6s and 9s on your Jazz. Go to your Jazz MCS Plus. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they brought out MCS Plus, I thought, oh boy, there goes my job. Because it does all those chords for you. And the song goes slow enough, too. I do not recommend MCS Plus for faster songs, but it does work, or country songs. Country songs play pretty much 4 strings, and they don't use anything else in their chords. But your jazz songs, your MCS Plus is going to be absolutely fine, especially your slower jazz songs.
Yeah.
They're going to sound beautiful. Yep. So what it actually does is I have it on this organ. Wow. Okay, so here's an A minor. If I put on MCS Plus, here's what it sounds like. hear the difference? Off, on. It's subtle, but it's very nice. I'm going to keep it on this time and just try it. Very nice. Yeah, this song works very well with that Jazz MCS Plus if you have it. Nice. Also, if you are using a trombone, think like the trombone player. Oops, somebody's got a phone going.
Call from Archie Carabias.
Okay. If you are using a horn, you have to let your horn player breathe. Now, this song is pretty good about putting in rests, but you still have to think like a singer or a horn player. And if it's a place where you would normally take a breath, if you're singing the song, make sure you at least lift your finger and give that horn player a chance to breathe. Like Marco says, don't kill the horn player. So that's what you have to think about as well. You don't just want to run that finger like it's an organ sound. Organs, you can slur everything together and never put a breath in there, but with a horn you have to. You have to, because otherwise it sounds like something's not right here. So always think like the instrument that you are playing. And just make sure that you give that instrument a chance to take a little breath. Just lift your finger every now and then and do it in the right spots. You don't want to take a breath in the middle of a word or a sentence. Make sure you do it at the end of a phrase. Make sense? All right, let's put some fingering in. We're running out of time here, but we've had some excellent questions. Thank you. Fingering. E5. C3, E5, D4, C3, D4, E5, C3, A2, E1. Second line, high E is 5, C3, D4, D4, C3, A1. C3, A1, C3, B2. Third line, the high E is a 5, C3, E5, E5, E5. D4, C3, D4, E5, C3. A2, E1. Now, if you're doing a finger roll, 2 to 1 doesn't work. So then you have to, your fingering goes all out the window when you're doing finger rolls. So don't worry too much about it. Just use the fingering as a guide to get you started. So hush, little baby, E1, G2, E1, G2. A1, circle it, you're going to tuck it under. C3, top of the second page, E5. D4, C3, A1, E5, E5, C3, E5, E5. Second line, E5, D4, C3, D4, E5, C3, A2, E1. There's one again. There's a chance to do a finger roll, but you got to redo your fingers and do a little switch in the middle there. E5, C3. Let's go to the third line. D4, D4, D4. C3, A1, C3, A1, C3, B2, E5, E5, C3, E5, E5, D4, C3, D4, E5, C3, A2, E1. Again, if you want to do a finger roll there, that's a good spot. E1, and the last line is G2, E1, G2, A1, circle it, you're going to tuck it under, C3, E5, D4, C3, A can be 2 or 1. And then you're ending. Any questions about fingering? Nope, we're good? All right. Now, I played it also on Awesome Piano. Awesome Piano at 74. And I put it on a full organ just for a completely different sound. And then there's a guitar on the bottom. So this gives me something totally different. But it's kind of that still, that real bluesy feeling. Jeanette's coming late. That's okay. All right. Any questions? You heard me gliding a little bit with the guitar. Guitars can glide on these bluesy numbers like this. Those are the kind of instruments that really work well. Of course, you can never, ever go wrong with a really pretty organ sound. Never. Or I didn't even use big strings. I didn't really have time to set up this morning because, again, they switched out my organs and I had to go to a Zoom meeting and I had to come back and replug everything in. But Strings 101, because remember, this was an opera, and an opera used a full orchestra. So not only your horn sounds, but Strings 101 with full strings is going to be absolutely fabulous. All right, next week, back to normal. Nothing's normal at Fletcher Music. We just go and go. All right, Super Calo we did last week, so we will do Swinging on a Star. Perfect. Perfect. And if that's too easy, if I think that's too easy, we'll also add Thanks for the Memory, because that doesn't look like it's... it could be. Now, let's just do Swinging on a Star next week. We'll just work on one. if you have any suggestions for me, any comments, there's something you would like to learn in class, either bring it up as a question like we did today about the MCS Plus, or email me, and I'm more than happy to help you out with the emails. So you guys are the bestest. Thank you so much. You're the reason we're here.
I mean, Dawn, is the workshops, are they on YouTube?
The workshops from the
Tuesday and Wednesday?
I don't know if he put those on. I don't know if he did, because those were all, he had 3 workshops going at one time. So they were on different links, different
okay.
email accounts. So I don't know if he was planning to put them on or not.
I didn't see them on YouTube.
I couldn't find them.
He may not
Yeah, I
have.
didn't see them.
Yeah, he may not have. He may not have.
Also, your last Friday, I couldn't find it on YouTube.
No, and I know nobody could. And I think I recorded it, but I don't think he posted it. Now, in Robert's defense, he was very, very busy putting together the recreational music making.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm sure he forgot a lot of things, and he just had his plate full of stuff. Not only that, we now have a whole new bunch of customers from the 2 dealers that we bought out. We also inherited the customer bases. So, yeah,
good.
So that's Zoom's not going anywhere, guys. We're going to be Zooming even if and when we start putting some more regular classes back in the store. Zoom's going to be here forever. So that's the only way we can contact with some of you guys who are not in the area. So this has just been a wonderful, wonderful godsend for some people. And
yeah,
I'm getting a kick out of teaching on Zoom. I am. I'm getting used to it.
Was it extra work for you? Dawn?
Yes.
Is there any way you can scan Monday's class?
Yeah, absolutely. Just make sure that you email me and just let me know which song you want. Or just say I need the Monday class song, and I'm more than happy to email it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Can I do that for Friday's class too, last Friday's class?
Last Friday's class, I don't think I had both of them done. I think I did the Thank Heaven for Little Girls. So yeah, Thank Heaven for Little Girls I had copied and ready to go. But yes, just email me and let me know what you need, and I'm more than happy to do that.
Okay. Thank you, Dawn.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dawn.
You're welcome. Don't forget, schedule your appointments so that you can do your product surveys so that you can win those fabulous prizes. And the way to do that is to just schedule an appointment with your personal assistant. For most of you on here today, I believe it is myself. So just call and we'll get you set up. You have to take a product survey on your next instrument. Whether you purchase it or not is a whole different thing, but you do want to take a look at it and take the survey, and that helps us out, and that's what gets you registered for winning those valuable and fabulous prizes. You guys are the bestest. Don't forget, we are doing a Journey showcase. Not everybody is getting a link. If you would like to see it, shoot me an email on that too, and I'll just make sure that you get a copy of the link. Okay?
Okay.
Is there a concert this afternoon?
No, this is taking the place of the concert. And the reason is because we did all our concerts on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
That's a good question.
Thank you.
Everything
Appreciate
back to normal as much as we can next week, and there's really no normal. Every week is a whole new thing, a whole different thing. Don't forget, also make sure you continue to go to FletcherMusic.com to get into your links. Okay? All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you, Dawn. You're awesome. We all
No,
appreciate
You're
you.
awesome.
Thank
Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye.